Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 7 o'clock or 7:01 on September 24th, 2024. Wow, it was a lot of 24s in there, isn't there? Just turning on my iPad here so I can see if actually I don't have any power. I was going to look if I can see the comments coming in from the Facebook group. Maybe I'll try it on my phone. That might be an idea. But welcome to the show. I am here to answer any questions that you have regarding marketing and or moving your business forward. But I do have a gift for you, kind of a gift, because I pulled out some training notes here. I've a couple of training notes. I take notes all the time, and highlighted a few areas that I want to talk about that may start some conversation and in the right direction here where we want to go, because I get a lot of questions regarding um, choosing the niche or choosing the dream client, choosing the people that you want to work with. And there's a lot of talk around this, and especially in my world, in my tribe, dream clients are completely different from client avatars or ideal client avatars, right? It's a completely different thing. And maybe some of these notes that I taken here will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And maybe I can just get some information from you or some questions. Just put them in the chat. If you are watching, let me know with a hashtag live or hashtag replay. I'm just going to pick up my phone and see if I can get into the stream here to see if there is anything coming in on. There we go. Okay, so this is cool. And maybe I can see if there's any comments coming in on this side. There we go. I will keep my phone there just in case. If there's any comments, maybe I can see them or not. Let me just hit this. Okay, and I will just put this on mute. There we go. Okay. I am not. How do I put this on mute? Put down the volume. There we go. Okay. So can you tell this is the first time I am doing things with my phone and trying to monitor the Facebook group? But here's what I'm talking about. So these are a couple of criteria when you're looking for your dream client. And one of them is that they immediately recognize your solutions. And this is a big one because a lot of times I find that or people I speak to, are trying to convince people that they need the problem or that they have a problem or anything like that. And the dream client immediately recognizes that they have the problem or what your solution is. So when you're talking about your solution, they go, yep, that's exactly for me. Number two is they can easily afford this. And I know that I'm not a big proponent of always talking about money, and like money is the last thing on our plate, but it still is important because we still need to build a very healthy business. And without money, you don't have a healthy business. And without a healthy business, you can't impact the world the way that you want to. And that's one of the things that was a big mindset shift for me, where I was like, I'm not all about money. I don't need money. Well, I actually do need money. I need more money than someone who is money driven, because I have a mission to change the world. I have a mission to give that money away. So the more money that I make, the more I can give away, the more I can do better things in the world, give to charities, all that kind of stuff that truly matters to me. So that's number two, is like easily affordable. And number three, I think there's no real order to this, but number three in this case is that they're most likely to implement. This is a big one, especially for me. I don't know about you, but as a coach, I'm rewarded when people are actually implementing what I ask them to do. It doesn't mean it always works, right? It doesn't mean it always works, but even today I got there was two great posts in my group that gave me the affirmation that my stuff is working and it's helping them. One person has made $40,000 between April and now. We just started working together in April. We are in September, so that's pretty good. It's a pretty good return. It doesn't happen all the time, and another person got really, really clear, which kind of gave me the idea for today's topic. So thank you for that. So most likely to implement, because if you're creating a program and people aren't using it, then what's the use of it? And that's where you get returns, and that's where you get people who are saying it doesn't work and all of this stuff. So they have to be ready to implement. Number four, most likely to benefit right now. Another big one, because if you're talking to people who do not have an urgency to do whatever it is that you're helping them do, and they can wait a year, they're going to wait a year. I don't know how many conversations I have that have, taken a back seat for, and that's totally cool, because it's like it's on their timeline. And this is one of the big things that I am a big proponent of why the number 3 pillar that I have in my world is respect their timeline. So somebody might be interested in making sure that their business is simpler. They want to stop losing money in the stuff that they're doing, but they're not ready yet. They're doing other things. They need to clean up some things, whatever it looks like. So they are not ready to implement right now. That means that they are a dream client in training for me. They've reached out, they've talked to me, and they just aren't ready to go yet. And rather than me pressuring them, putting them through funnels with and sending them to a page with countdown timers and all these other things, I would rather let them decide when they want to become a client or not. And that's what I mean by the most likely to benefit or right now. So I guess that also means that maybe they aren't at a stage that where you can help them, because there's a customer journey, right? And a lot of times people will talk about selling the entire customer journey. I'm not a big proponent of that, because thanks, Kali. Good to see you. All right, it's working. I can see, Kali, your comment here in the Facebooks, in the group. So great. Marianne, hey, all right, Marianne is watching. Cool. So I can see that. Thank you for watching, guys. If you have a comment and a question, let me know. Put it into the chat. It looks like I'm seeing the comments coming in through my Facebook group here. So that is amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you have any comments or questions, anything like that, throw them into the chat or into this comment area, and I should be able to see it. Hey, Marianne, good to see you. All right. So those are the things. The other thing is this one. It's a crucial problem, so a critical problem. And I talk about this because if someone is in a stage where this is critical, it has to happen now, that's where those other 4 I guess criteria will come into play. If somebody is not in a crisis mode, they can wait, and that's still okay. I'm not saying that you put them into pressure funnels or anything like that, any kind of pressure marketing. I'm not about that. But you have to realize that they may not be a dream client right now, and our job is to switch gears. So if a person doesn't have a crisis and they're still interested in you, then there's no problem in still communicating with them, having conversation and keeping that conversation open. But a lot of times marketers, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they will just put those people into this automated pressure funnel and waiting for them to buy or pressuring them to buy. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me go on to another page here. I got a couple of pages. If you haven't got a couple of pages here marked, I just got to flip through and see, because I did hopefully mark the right pages that were about the same thing. There's notes all over the place. Great. All right. This one is a big one. This one is talking about core identity, and you have to understand what your core identity is and your desires and truly what you want. I was talking about this on my private coaching call today, the Academy Mastermind, and we were talking about not being afraid to really ask for what you want. And I'm not talking just about, putting it out to the universe and having that, attract things into your life. What I'm talking about is not being afraid to ask for what you want in terms of customers and also in terms of employees, people that are working for you. And I'm always, if you've heard me for a long time, you've always heard me talk about, the dream client desire, or designing the dream client that you truly want to work with and who you want to be around all the time. And our brains just get in the way. Our brains just say, like, it's impossible for me to have this perfect person and the person that I'm wanting to have in my life. Right. And so we kind of just, strip back a couple things. And the reason I'm telling you this is because this happened to me this last week or last couple of weeks when I was hiring new people for the team. And I realized that it's the same thing. What I was doing is I was holding back my thoughts or my wants and needs, my desires, the things that I would want to say, well, no one would ever do that for me at this rate and all these. And so, but it was not true. So I was holding back and I wasn't getting the people that I wanted to respond to the job posting. And so as soon as I made the change and made exactly what I wanted, so it was, this is exactly who I need, this is exactly what I want, this is what I expect, you're going to filter out the wrong people, but then you're going to get people who are willing to do the thing that you want to do. And it's the same thing when it comes to your dream clients. Okay. It's same thing when it comes to your dream clients. especially that. So who's the person you want in your life, and make sure that you know the core identity. Let me talk about that. The deepest core desires, when you're looking at who do I want, what does the dream client look like, your deepest desires are the clues. Okay, your deepest desires are the clues. I only want to work with people who are mission driven. I do not want to work with people who are money driven. My deepest desire is to have people who are all the stuff I just talked about, which is when I ask you to do something or we are brainstorming together, when we got options and we choose one of the options, go and implement that. Like, that's my deepest desire. My deepest desire is for people to listen to me, not because I want to stand on a soapbox and say I'm right and everybody else is wrong. No, but I'm that person who wants to go into momentum even without the big plan. It's like, well, this is the idea we have. These are two options. Which one resonates the most right now, or which one are you the least uncomfortable to do? Let's go do that. And the implementation gives us back data. That's a deep desire for me, because that's who I am. I'm implementing. Kali, yes, I'm coming into your Atlas program. Yes, there's been no pressure from you. Let me see more integrity. So no pressure from you ever. Your integrity is only one reason why I'm coming into the program. Thank you, Kali, for that. And I know you work with dream clients, and I want you to consider that you are a dream coach. Thank you. Oh man, thank you so much. Love and soul hugs. Love and soul hugs back to you. Appreciate you. I do. And that is so awesome. Let me give that can I give that a love here? Like, I don't know. I'll give it a like anyway. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. So when you are looking for dream clients, you need to understand what your core identity is. And I'm not talking about the material stuff. I'm not talking about the kind of car you like to drive or whatever that is. And that's cool, but more your deep desires. And this is what is getting to understand, like, why are you in business? One of the questions I like to ask coaching clients is, why are you doing this? What's the reason why you're in business? Besides money, besides freedom, like, that's cool. Freedom is, everybody's going to say the same thing. I want more freedom. I want more time. I want more money. I want to, be with my kids, that kind of stuff. But I want to know, what is the true desire of what you do? For me, I'll give you I'll tell you an example of this and why I do what I do. Why I do what I do is basically to stop everybody that I come in contact with, to stop sacrificing their life for their business, because that's what they do. And this is what I did. So this is my deep desire, is to stop everybody from doing that. I will, till the day I die, that will be the mission. The mission is, how can I get people to stuff I just talked about, listen to me, right? And let's move forward. So eventually we'll get the right path and get the right things, just like a couple of people I just spoke about earlier who made some good money, as a side note. But it was, how do I get people to listen to me so that we can move forward, so that we can see what's working, what's not working, because I love solving problems. So if you go forward and you come back with a problem, that's fantastic. Give me more problems and let's figure this out together. So that's the biggest journey for me, or the biggest mission for me, is to just, let's stop sacrificing your life and trying to do something and giving up your life until you become successful, because that's not happening. What's going to happen is you're going to sacrifice your life all the way through until you're too old, and then say, what did I do? I just gave up my life, gave up my relationships and all that. So that's my mission. What is yours? What is your core mission, and why do you do what you do? And then it will give you the reason to get up in the morning. And this is the reason why I get up in the morning. Yes, all the money that you make is fantastic. If you have dream clients on top of that, it's even better. So the mission is the driving force, though. What gets you up in the morning? Okay. So you have to understand what your core desire is, core identity. Who are you? Flip over to this other one. All right, your market. Let's talk a little bit about the market. Any more comments here? Okay, cool. We're good. Let's talk about the market, because the market is where a lot of people get confused, and you want to find out who your market truly is. And you identify, we just talked about core identity, right? So this is where you identify with your core identity and their core identity. They have to have pretty much the same thing. It's what their truly desired outcome of what they really want. And I know this might sound surface level, you've heard this before, but have you really done the work? I have. When I talk to potential clients, it's not because their credit card is going to go through and they can afford the program. That's a part of it. Like, can you afford it? And that's great. But if someone came to me and said, "Here's money, can I join Atlas?" The first question I'm going to have is, what are you trying to do? Who are the people you're trying to serve? I want to know more about what their core identity is, what their core values are, what their mission is. But then, um, do you and so what I'm trying to do is understand who they really are and what they truly want. And so if it's just, well, I want to make a whole bunch of money, then they're not a fit for my program. So you want to understand truly what someone wants. And that's not easy to do. A lot of times, like, people don't come into Atlas to build a group program. That's not what they want. Yes, that's maybe a part of it. Like, okay, help me build a group program that's really simple, that's easy, that's calm, that is, on the premium level. Like, that's the surface level thing that I might help someone do, but it leads into, well, why are you doing that? You want to maybe do a group program because you don't want to be stuck doing 40 hours a week of one-on-one coaching, and you're burnt out every single night, and especially by the weekend, that you have no time for yourself, you have no time for your family or anything, you're wolfing down food, all of that. They want to get rid of all of that stuff. They want to buy freedom back. And that's a different goal than just saying, I want more freedom, I want more time and freedom. It's because I'm eliminating all of those other things that are in their life. Does that make sense? And so you also have to prove to them that you really, really give a damn about them. Like, I can't, it's so uncanny of how many marketers I see that do not care about their clients in a way that is equal to or more than they care about themselves. Right? So I care more about my clients than I care about my bank account. That's just the way it is. And so if you care about them in the most profound way and actually help them move toward whatever it is that they want, even when you're not getting paid, that's a completely different way to market yourself and to stand out among people, right? I'm just checking real quick in my phone here just to see if there's any comments or whatever, or questions. So if you have a question, let me know. Put it into the chat, wherever you're watching from, because I think we're streaming to 5 or 6 different places. Let me know with a hashtag live if you're here with live, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. That lets me know who's watching at one time and all that stuff. Cool. Let me see, what else do I have here to share with you? I think those were the main ones that I talked about. Oh, okay. This is a big one. When you're communicating, it's kind of like when you're even speaking on stage. But when you're communicating, you're speaking to one person. You're communicating to the one person. And this is the reason why you need to understand the core value of that person, or their core identity. I shouldn't say and their core identity, because you're speaking to one person. And the way that you sell to someone is by speaking to that one person and not a group. So you wouldn't, well, I'm sure you've seen people go on stage and say, "Hey, everyone," or "How's everyone doing?" Those are group messages. But if you go on stage and say, "How are you doing?" you're speaking like the person sitting there watching that person on stage is just the one person. Like, there's other people around them, but when you're saying you, it's a completely direct response or completely direct communication. It's the same thing in your marketing. It's the same thing in your marketing. So don't use all or everybody. Use communication that is speaking directly to your client, and you will get more response. You will bond faster because you're talking to them, and that's what you want. You want to have a bond. You're trying to build a bond, because the only time people are going to buy from you is when they trust you and when they bond you. But the problem is, people are trying to make the bond happen too fast. And again, it goes back to number 3, respect their timeline. Pillar number 3, respect their timeline. And by the way, let me close the loop, and just in case you don't know what the pillars are, but even if you do, it's a good reminder. Pillar number 1 in Joey's world, in the heart-centered marketing world, is curate the tribe, which is what we're talking about here right now. Who are the people that you want to be around, that you identify with their core identity, their core values, and you understand them in the most deepest, profound way than anybody else in the market does. Number 2 is serve to sell. Serving means selling. Serving equals selling. But if you lead with serving, it means that eventually a sale will come. You don't know from who, you don't know when, but that's how a sale happens. Because there are points where all you're doing is just giving, giving, and giving, and there's never an offer, there's never a sale. But if you serve to sell, which means your intention is to serve in a way that makes someone move the needle in their business, and then eventually it leads to a sale when it's their time, which leads to pillar number 3, that will save you from so much headache and so much anguish and frustration, thinking like, when is somebody going to buy, or I'm expecting someone to buy. I'm hoping somebody buys from me if I'm serving, but it's not an expectation anymore. It used to be an expectation, and that was a big block for me. And as soon as I turn it around to say, no, it's all about the serve, let me just serve, and eventually somebody will buy, then maybe a couple more people buy, right? So that's just the way it goes. Number 3 is respect their timeline. So that is perfect on how we can end this conversation today. Hopefully this helped you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for watching me live here today. We will have another heart-centered marketing show next week for you as well. Who knows what we're going to talk about, because it comes up every single week. And most of the time we just talk at just an ad hoc kind of conversation. Get you involved with it. We're talking about stuff. Maybe some of this stuff triggered you. Great to have you here. Thank you for being here. We will see you next week on Heart Center Marketing Show.